Hey folks, welcome back to the Portable Gamer, welcome back to Farming Simulator 19, and welcome to Marwell Manor Farm by OxygenDavid. So, it was just a couple of days ago, I was bemoaning the fact that there weren't a ton of mods for FS19 yet, and it had been a couple of months, and I was speculating, I was wondering why that was. And I think there could potentially be a couple reasons for it. One reason is maybe Farm Sim as a franchise has kind of peaked, you know? Maybe people are kind of moving away from it, losing interest. And then the other thing is, and I've definitely seen this with my own two eyes, I've read the comments, like on the SCS blog, you know, where you can see a mod, like the original link back to and the comments by a mod maker for a truck that they've made. I have seen actual comments from a mod maker saying, you know what, I'm not going to do this anymore. I can't take it. Too frustrating. And I put those two together and I thought, well, shoot, man, maybe people are just not making as many mods as they used to. I got this great big weight carrier poking out on the front here, and I'm trying not to cause any mayhem or deviltry in traffic. So I put those two together and I was wondering, and then of course just a couple days later, I'm on the mod hub, because I have been trying to stay current, even though I'm not playing FS19. I have been kind of trying to stay current with the mods because I didn't want to hop back into it in 6 months. You know what I mean? And there's like pages and pages of mods and I can't figure anything out. So I figured I would jump right in. And I also saw beta for CoursePlay, which we're going to try out today. And I also saw beta for GPS, which we're going to try out today. So I put all that together. OxygenDavid, one of my favorite map makers. And he and Bullet Bill and Lancey Boy definitely like my go-to trio for quality maps, and I thought I'll give it a try. I'll give it one more try. Now I can tell you the map is playing really, really fast, solid 60 FPS, and this is by default summertime, so all the trees have leaves on them, and you know, none of that season stuff where in early spring the trees are bare and you pick up a few FPS. Now I can't tell you that OxygenDavid and Bullet Bill, and I don't know, I can only speculate as to whether they came up with this themselves, but they have some type of perhaps a proprietary system, we could call it, that really dramatically drops the number of items that render as you move out further over distance, and that's one of the reasons why their maps typically tend to play pretty fast. But you know what? I keep talking all that smack. Let's go back here and take a look at the map proper. There it is. And this is a DEM? EDM. No, that's something else. DEM, yeah, I think it is. It's based on a real place. I love that. You don't need to wonder. I mean, obviously there aren't big rectangular fields, but you don't need to wonder, hey, did the map maker just get clever? Throw this in here, do this, do that. No, man, these are based on real fields in the British countryside. I love it. And if we zoom in a little bit, this is where most of our action is going to be today, this South Views barn. I can see a lime station there. The store is right across the street from it. I can see an egg cell point, sawmill. I don't log, you know that. Rainbow Ridge stores. Sorry, too many Marvel Comics movies. And Rainbow Ridge buys. Okay. What else we got here? This is, I believe, outside the border. I think that red line sort of forms the edge of the map. And then down here is where we are, and we're at the biogas. We've also got a spinnery. The dairy, FS19, you do need to haul and sell your own milk. I think that says stores. Now, do they buy as well? Yep, Greendale Stores is also a sell point. Now, I thought it said in the notes that there were placed animal facilities for everything. So far, I just see the ponies and I see the chickens. I don't see pigs, sheep, or cows. But I want to check those notes again because I'm almost positive it said that those were already in place, and then you could also modify them yourself. But be that as it may, we're down here at the BGA. I'm seeing a lot of features that I recognize from FS19 base game, as to be expected. But in the notes, it did also say that he had built, I want to say 30 models. So good on him, man. I love it. The map is playing fast and smooth. And I'll tell you, the two biggest problems that I had the two biggest problems that I had with FS19 right out of the box. The first problem was lack of seasons. And the fact that without seasons, playing without seasons, to me, it's just super, super boring because there are no challenges. And you can make up challenges for yourself, but and you can do that with any game, right? The thing that I love about seasons is it really limits what you can and can't do, and it gives you a ton of problems to solve. I feel like without seasons, there's really not as many problems to solve. You can kind of just do whatever you want. And I get that, obviously. I mean, the Giants knew, based on the response to seasons, it's one of the most popular mods ever. They knew how popular it was, and they knew that was something people liked, and they still omitted it for whatever reason. I think the reason is because they know their core audience doesn't care about that. Their core audience just wants to come home from work, crack open a beer, and paint some fields, and that is totally, totally cool. Works for me. But until seasons is in place, I don't know sort of what the point of the game is. I'm not being an ass when I say that. I don't get it. You know, you just do whatever you want. To me, it would be analogous to ETS 2 with no cargo and no destination, right? You just drive around. Well, what fun is that? You know, that's not challenging. That's not, what is that? So, yeah, that was the first problem. The second problem I had was the base maps were really boring and disappointing, and the absence of existing farms. You had to like build your own farm, and I assume that they will fix the economic modeling in the first big patch, because it was so ridiculously expensive to build your own farm, and then when it was done, it looked like ass anyway because the placeable system was just a mess, right? Takeaway for me after all of that, it just didn't make me feel anything. I didn't feel anything when I was playing it. I've been playing a lot of Ghost Recon Wildlands, you know that, about a month ago, right after Christmas, a little bit more than a month. I got into shooters, and been playing The Division, been playing Ghost Recon Wildlands. Those make me feel something, right? Euro Truck, American Truck, that makes me feel something. Racing games obviously make me feel something. FS17, I feel something when I play that game. I am immersed, right? We talk about that all the time. Immersion is what we're after. Well, at least some of us is what we're after. When I play FS17 on a good mod map with all my, with all my mods running, I am immersed. I feel something. Playing FS19, at least in base game format, nothing. And that was my biggest complaint. I'm on this map 8 minutes, a little bit longer than that. I did set a couple things up off camera, but I'm on this map 8 minutes, and I'm already feeling something. It's got that British countryside feel to it. You know, you feel something. That's what we're after when we game. So, I mean, I do think it's kind of shitty that Giants leaves it to mod makers to like complete their game for free. But what can you do? You know, what can you do? That's how they're going to do it. There's no way around it. So here's a mod map. It's gorgeous so far. I'm digging it. I figured let's give it a whirl. I also wanted to try out CoursePlay. And CoursePlay is in beta. And there's also a GPS mod that's in beta. So I thought, let's give them a try on a new map. Let's give FS19. Let's give FS19, I wouldn't say another try. You know, I mean, I know it'll get there. I just felt like it wasn't there yet. So let's give it a go. Let's see how we do. So let's buy a field. We're going to click on that. I think I remember how this goes. We're going to buy field 7, which is right next to our barn. I did borrow €500,000. We've got, I want to say about 600,000. So now we have 176,000. Okay, we should be all right. We leased the combine harvester. We bought the tractor. We bought the header. We bought the trailer. And we bought that little tipper over there. So let's do this. Let's take our header in to the field. Let's get her hooked up, and let's see if we can get our, what is that, a T560. Let's see if we can get our combine harvester going on CoursePlay. And while that's running, assuming we can get it working while that's running, then we will take our 6 series over. We're in a 6250R, I said. So while we're letting our combine harvester run on CoursePlay, we'll drop our header trailer and go pick up our tipper, and we'll service this combine harvester. Maybe we'll do a little bit more of a map tour. Right. Everything's still the same. So far, so good. Okay. We are going to do field work. Yes, we are. We're going to be on field 7. Yes, we are. It's the only one we own. Starting location, right effing here. Headland. Let's do 2 headlands. And we are going to do our headlands first. Then we'll do our lengths. No islands to bypass. It's nice to see that all this stuff is still in here because it is beta. I was curious for a minute if they were not, and I want to say it's a new developer. Yeah, I think I saw. Now I got this from GitHub. So this is like, I got to crush a little crop here. So this is, in fact, let me do this first, just so we have a little bit more room to work. Let's close this gate because I can see as I'm wanting to back up here, right? That's right there, and that right there, yeah. So let's close that gate. This is from GitHub, so this is the real deal. Now, it does not come like CoursePlay always does with beta. It does not come ready to run. You got to do a couple of things to get her ready. But that's okay. But this is from the actual developer who is not the original developer, if that makes sense. I'm going to do one other thing. Disable straw swath. Yes, sir. Disable. And the reason I want to do that is I do not want a swath for my first couple passes, so we're not driving over it, right? When we're servicing our combine harvester. Does that make sense? Yeah, you know what I mean. We don't want a swath till we start doing lengths, and then that's what we're going to bail up. So, turn speed, field speed, everything looks good. Go right back here. AI driver, that's new. Okay, that's new. And then start course at first waypoint. Yes. Combine convoy. I don't know what that means. So it goes. And as I'm looking at this, just a little bit close. Let's get this out of the way. Let's minimize the risk of problems. So we can, let's do this. We'll take this right over here, and we'll just back it up right here. And I think as we get that first headland going, you know what? I'll just drop this thing right here. I mean, we're going to need it again, right? To get the header out of the field. So let me just drive through a bit of a bush right there and get this thing proper out of the way. Beautiful. Man, I do miss gearbox when I don't have it. Right. So that goes there. Then we're going to hop back in here and see what CoursePlay can do for us. You ready? Here we go. That goes there. This is all the same. I'm feeling pretty good about that. Stop at last point. That is activated. Okay, that's good to go. Turn on field. That's activated. Okay. CoursePlay, how do you do? Right on. Okay, seems to be working good so far. You know something I didn't do? I didn't do this. Okay, that's still the same. All right. And then what would the other thing be? This right here. And that's still the same. Okay, cool. So yeah, like I said, it is a new developer that I guess has taken it over, but it looks like it's done with blessings because it's all the same, same interface, it looks like the same app, like it's just been ported over to 19. So far, so good. So far, so good. So we don't have to run too far. Oh, face full of chaff. So we don't have to run too far. Let's go get our tipper now, so we can start taking care of our T560. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, I'm still missing seasons, but being able to have CoursePlay on there, really, that changes the game a lot. And to the point where, and I realize I'm repeating myself, you've heard me say these things before, but to the point where I don't know how they could not include something like CoursePlay in 19 from day one. Come on. The AI helpers, as long as I've been playing the game, 3 years, almost 4 years, the AI helpers have been like one of the worst parts of the game for years. And I don't see how they can't do something about it. And AI helpers, the way that they're configured right now, limits the base game for the most part to square fields, which are no fun. Nobody likes square fields. So CoursePlay, I think, changes some of that. Now, I don't know. I have seen YouTubers who do absolutely unbelievable things with CoursePlay, like 2 combine harvesters running opposite patterns in the same field and 4 tractors servicing them, and everything is going where it's supposed to, and the tractors with tipper are emptying the combine and then going somewhere and like parking for a second and then coming back, and they do that till they're full, and then they make a run to the grain elevator, dump, and come back. They're driving on public highways with traffic, right? I've tried some of that stuff, and I get so mad I have to like go lie down and take a nap. Ooh. And I've also seen that too. I've seen some YouTubers trying to work with CoursePlay and just absolutely rage quit a live stream because they can't get CoursePlay to work. And when I say like they can't get CoursePlay to work, I don't mean like and I can. I mean, I can make it do basic things, but I have seen CoursePlay do amazing things. And if you can get it to do those things, I think then it radically changes the game. But even just for basic stuff like we're doing right now, it changes the game. So CoursePlay is one thing. And then the other thing I want to try, and you know what? I may or may not be able to do it this video, but the other thing I got is that GPS beta. And that was the other thing that, now with square fields, it's not nearly as critical because you just, follow one side. It can be a little wonky when you get into the middle of a big square field. You can get a little bit off track. But for the most part, oh, that's an ugly flicker. We'll go ahead and turn those lights off. Doesn't help it. So even GPS in a big square field can come in handy. And that's the other thing I want to try. I've seen some other mods. I mean, mostly it's just been really Giants equipment. A lot of the stuff on the Mod Hub has been from Giants, right? It's not a third-party modder. It's like their own stuff from 17 that they're getting around to finishing. And, that makes me think, too, that they had to leave some things out because they were out of time. Because why you would leave out, like CoursePlay, right? We were just in CoursePlay, and it's got everything that was in it before. And I can tell you from projects that I've managed in a previous life, back when I was a grown-up, that when you change a piece of software, for the most part, you want to add things or you want to improve things, but you very rarely want to take things out. Unless it's something that your data can prove conclusively that virtually nobody uses. In business, people really don't like getting used to new software, right? Change management, we called it. A lot of people like things the way they are. They're not looking for any change. So if you change something on them, they get used to it very, very grudgingly. Ugh. So if you implement a new piece of software in your business and you get people used to it, they're already mad at you And the last thing you want to do is have a patch to that takes away something that they got used to reluctantly, if that makes sense. They didn't want to use it at all. You forced it on them. They learned it, and now you took away something that you forced them to learn. People hate that. So in software and in games, for the most part, you never want to take anything out. So when I look at something like CoursePlay, it's got all the stuff that it had before, all the stuff that we're used to. Good, smart. But when FS19 dropped, it was missing a lot of stuff that was in 17, and people were like, what the hell, man? It was already done. Why would you take out something that when you make a new app, when you make a new game, you add more stuff to it? You don't take out things that are already in it. Come on. It would be like if it didn't have cows. Where'd the cows go? I don't even like farming cows. I don't even like having a dairy. But I would still be like, where'd the cows go? So for all that equipment to be missing, that kind of makes me think like, you know what? This was late. This game was late, and that's why it was missing things like seasons. Now it's still Giant's fault, you know. They're not exempt from responsibility. Oh, sorry, you know, it sucks that you were late, but that's okay. No, that's still on them. You know, they've released like 8 versions of this game, 7 versions of this game. Surely they can manage the project to have it done on time. But for one reason or another, they did not. Okay, that's cool. So a lot of the stuff that I'm seeing on the Mod Hub is Giant stuff that they just initially left out. And if you're saying, well, you know, they didn't want to put it in, that's why they left it out. Well, if they didn't want to put it in, then they wouldn't have added it a month later. They just didn't have time for it. So that's cool. That's totally cool. But if that's the reason why there's no seasons, that is like major league dropping the ball. But we shall see. We shall see. And to repeat what I was saying earlier, I'm definitely like the flicker in that chaff cloud is bugging the hell out of me. I hope it's not bothering you too badly, but for the most part, I'm already feeling more of a connection to this map than I did to either of the base game maps. And I know within just a couple of weeks of the game coming out back in November, early December, there were some bad ports of FS17 maps to 19. And same thing, even though there were maps that I had liked in their 17 iteration, seeing them in 19, trying them in 19, just they were so poorly converted that it just absolutely did nothing for me. So this is a new map. Now I can say it's a new map, and it's a map that I haven't been on before, and that always has a certain charm and a certain appeal. But the other thing that I can tell you is if you play enough maps by a certain map maker, you do get a feeling for their style. And it does have, I don't want to say this, like, we'll slow down here. Go back here, we'll zoom out a little bit. It's a little bit smaller, but it kind of reminds me of Chellington, you know? It kind of does. Chellington is an interesting map, and I find this to be the case with a lot of British maps. Is they look small, they look like a little quaint, cozy British map, little British town in the countryside, and you start to play them, and you're like, good Lord, these fields are big. So this is kind of the same way. Like down on this end where we start this field, doesn't look too big, does not look too big, but you get down to the fat end of it here, and we're gonna get some wheat out of this field, for sure. Won't be enough to get out of debt, but we got a good start. And since we only leased our combine harvester, we've got plenty of money to work with. Although I have a feeling we're going to be working fields 5, 6, and 7 for a couple of seasons. I do like that you don't have to spend 300 or 400,000 euro getting your facilities kind of up to snuff. Does that make sense? Yeah. That was a huge source of frustration for me in 17. In 19, when 19 first came out. Just the cost of buying basic things for around your farm. And we are on start from scratch mode. We started with no equipment, and prices are super, super low. In fact, let's check those right now. What's wheat selling for? Not bad. Not bad. 400-ish. So let's take this back and get this out of the way. What are we at? We're at 25 minutes. I think we're not going to get to GPS today. But I think we have taken a look at CoursePlay. Let's go stroll around the farm for just a few minutes, and then we'll call it. But yeah, man, this is Marwell Manor by OxygenDavid. I am nothing but pleased so far in several ways. I'm pleased that I don't have to build a farm and have it look like ass after I spend a ton of money on it. I'm pleased that it's an OxygenDavid map at all. Nice to see him on the job. Can't wait for some Lancy Boy and some Bullet Bill stuff. So yeah, now I'll have to check the notes again. You can check them yourself. They're on the mod hub. But I do feel like, yeah. Check this out. This is something. Let me see. Can we find an animal dialogue box around here somewhere? Yeah, this is already placed. Now this would be pigs, would it not? Did I just see a little? Yeah. This would be pigs. Let's find a gate and see if there's a dialogue box for pigs. Sure enough. Okay. So, yep, I thought I saw that in the notes. Okay, I'm glad I found this. I thought I saw that in the notes, and sure enough, here it is. And now when we look at the map, though, I don't, unless they're underneath. Is it under? Gas station, right? Is it underneath? Yeah, the icons are just super close together. Okay. Sure enough. So where would the cows be? Are they here as well? Let's zoom back in. Chickens, right? Let's look for them. We'll look for them manually. Old school. So no, not there. This is a silo. Looks like a poop bunker. Yep, it's a slurry tank. Okay, so I'm just seeing pigs here, and I don't see really enough room where we could have... moment. Nope, that's just a field. So if we go back here, what other land do we own? That's ponies. I don't see any other place where... Yeah, I don't see any other place where that stuff could be. Now, I just had a curious thought. Placeables, garage. No, the only stuff that's in the garage is stuff that we've bought. So there are no placeable buildings that we can sell or get rid of. Okay. Okay, interesting way that he's done it. So we've got pigs, we've got ponies, which we'll never do anything with. We've got chickens, which we may do something with. Where are the chickens, by the way? It says they're right over here. Pass it. Yep, chickens are... How am I not seeing the chickens? Are they right back here? They are. That looks like... Is that chickens? This is a chicken area. But, interesting. That's not either one of the placeable, like the buyable chicken areas. Okay. So I guess they just run around on the ground and don't have the structures that they have in base game when you buy one. Okay. Everything's making perfect sense so far. Let us, where's our combine harvester? It's way over there. Got a ways to go before it comes back. You want to call it? Yeah, let's just call it. Cool. Go right here for a little thumbnail. Folks, thanks for stopping back to check out The Portable Gamer. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Farming Simulator 19. This is Marwell Manor Farm by OxygenDavid. You can check it out on the Giants mod hub. And we'll see you next time. Take care now.